Between a long, cold winter, short days, lack of sunlight, maybe some seasonal depression, or if you're anything like us, repeated sicknesses. I got norovirus a couple of weeks ago. Highly don't recommend that. By the time spring rolls around, we can really feel like we need a good reset. Just that feeling of coming out of hibernation and feeling alive again. I have started to hear some birds chirping, and it has just given me a little pep in my step. Spring is so symbolic of new beginnings. It's the ultimate time for doing some decluttering, some deep cleaning, some organizing, and just laying the groundwork for a fresh season ahead. So in today's video, let's explore some of the ways that we can do a little life reset for the spring season ahead. This is a great time of year to reassess your personal or maybe even your career goals. If there were any intentions that you set at the beginning of the year, this is a great time to reflect on those and, to just assess where you're at now, what's working, what's not working, what's resonating, where you might need to make an adjustment. Are your current actions aligned with what you truly want? Is there anything that you want to embrace or do more of in the coming season? These make great journaling prompts. This is also such a nice time of year for reconnecting with nature, especially as the world starts to open up again, things start to bloom, which I'm still waiting for. We still got a bit of snow out there, but it is raining today and the temperatures are rising, which is nice. I've already got some ideas in mind of some gardening that I want to do this spring. For me, I absolutely love tending to my outdoor plants, flowers, shrubs, that kind of thing, but I do want to tinker around with perhaps some herbs, maybe plant some berry bushes out there this coming year as well. Tending to plants can be such a fulfilling and such a grounding hobby. I also love bringing in fresh flowers once they start to bloom. Our lilac tree on the side of our house blooms in April. It's my favorite floral smell, and I cannot wait to bring in a handful of it into our house within the next month or so. Fingers crossed we can finally replace our outdoor shed this year that really needs to be replaced. Also want to try painting our fence. It needs a fresh coat of paint. Little things like this, just making note of some of the things that you're hoping to do this year. We also are going to be going to a maple syrup kind of like a little festival where we can participate in collecting sap from trees. Living here in Canada, maple syrup is definitely a big thing in the spring, and I'm just really excited about that. But taking note or making a list even of some of the things that you want to do in the spring is such a great way for us to live more seasonally. Spring also brings so much fresh produce in my area. This includes things like parsnips and beets and cabbage and strawberries, asparagus and spinach, and it's a great time of year for experimenting with some new fresh recipes, whether that's some new fresh salads, light pastas, smoothies, that kind of thing as well. I also love pickled beets, and I've never made them myself before, and this is something I really want to do this spring as well since they are in season. You can just do a little Google search to see what is going to be growing in your area coming up soon. Especially if you have had back-to-back sicknesses like we have, such a good time of year to do a really good deep clean, even a little bit of disinfecting. Think areas like, really cleaning your kitchen appliances, floors, but things like light switches, doorknobs, giving those a good clean. Changing your toothbrush is a big one too, or your toothbrush head if you use an electric toothbrush. Changing your bedding. I mean, of course, washing sheets is always something that's good to do routinely, but even some new fresh, but like changing the colors, changing the sheets, something that I do want to do. I want to actually play around with some fresh bedding too, and just vacuuming in places that often get missed. Opening up the windows once the temperatures start to rise a little bit is something I love to do. Bringing in some fresh air after having the windows closed and furnace on all winter feels so good. Spring cleaning also involves a good decluttering sesh. If there's anything that's been piling up, thrown into a corner, a drawer, is getting a little bit messy, if there's anything that just hasn't been used in ages and can be donated, this is such a good time of year to go through those things and to clear them out and give yourself a bit of a fresh kind of blank slate for the season ahead. You might also want to clean up phone, emails, computer files. I have actually been working on some yearly photo albums from the past few years, just using photos that I have on my phone. I have so many pictures on my phone, and so I've been wanting to actually get those printed into yearly photo albums. And so that is something that I have been plugging away at. I also recently organized all of my B-roll footage that I have for my YouTube videos. I put it onto my external hard drive, and I cleared a ton of space on my laptop, so that felt really good. The last thing that I love to do this time of year is, as the temperatures rise, switching out heavier clothing for lighter fabrics, maybe brighter colors, more patterns, and just playing around with what feels good for you in the spring season. Seasonal wardrobe refresh, if you will. It's still March here. It's still chilly, so I'm not, getting rid of my sweaters just yet. But I have been making a mental note of some of the pieces that I want to add to my wardrobe this coming year. Usually I just make a trip to the thrift store if I feel like there's anything that I want or need. And that's always quite enjoyable. It's just switching things up. I hope you guys are excited for the season ahead. I'm sure a lot of you are. I was quite pleased to, despite being so sick this winter with endless colds and other such things, that, I didn't experience seasonal depression in the ways that I have in the years past. I did my best to really embrace the winter, and I want to do the same thing with the spring. I mean, I love the spring anyway, but really just doing my best to embrace it and live really seasonally is quite an enjoyable thing to do. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you're looking forward to. Is there anything that you do to live more seasonally in the spring with the changing seasons? Let me know, and I will see you all in the next one.